last week's entries aside, it's been a great year and we've had a lot of fun. But unfortunately, we've been gaining two new hosts, losing Korean for an extended period of time, and burning ourselves out on blue stacks. So between all those things, we have barely put a dent in our backlog, which brings us to today's topic.
I'm extremely hyped with this game, extremely scared of the amount of time I'm gonna put into it once I know how to manipulate this. But yeah, it sounds gonna be really fun. Just look at these battles.
This is on Steam, correct?
This is on Steam, absolutely yes.
Okay, if you want to get a pad, you might want to think about the DS5, just because Steam now supports haptic feedback, and I don't think too many other controllers currently have that other than the DS5. So if the
DS5, what is it? Like a
that
PS5
that's the
remote?
PS5 controller, yeah, has the haptic feedback. I'm not. I know that there will be more in the future, but currently that one's supposed to be the best one for haptic feedback. But that's again assuming that this game supports haptic feedback. So who knows?
Yes, because if I recall, so don't quote me on that, it has to be checked, but if I recall, Warbonds, so number one, was released in 2012, I think, and the two here run on the same engine.
Oh
So
wow.
if you think, yeah, if you think it's ugly, it's normal, it's ugly. It doesn't look extremely good, and that's why on the mods you have massive amount of mods which are just to make it look prettier, same as in Skyrim, which was what, 2013 or 14. And if you play it now, you have lots of mod to make it look like it's a nearly next gen console. So
Looking at it,
yeah,
I would
look at
say
the
that
mods.
graphically it looks really beautiful. For me, the only thing that stands out is the animations look very old. Like you see the guy's like running around, his feet are just kind of sliding everywhere he moves. You know, like if he's running sideways, his feet kind of slide. So I mean, graphically, it looks great, but yeah, it's you can definitely see with the animations that it's an older engine.
Mhm.
That's where
But
it stands out.
yeah, let's be nice, they still have a year to work on it. And
Even
take your time.
then,
If you want to take 2 years, take it anyway. We have lots of games in the backlog.
for me, I'm not a stickler for graphics. So you know, as long as something looks pretty
Sure.
enough. For example, what's that other game? Outward, which is supposed to be like super in depth, but it looks like a PS2 game. But still, it's like super fun because everything is like really deep. Like if you go out in the desert, you have to wear the right clothing or you'll overheat, and you have to make sure that you always bring bedding or your character gets too tired, and you have to camp occasionally. And so it's a lot of fun, but it is a lot of work. Now, I do have a question though, because so this is an ARPG. That was one thing when I was watching the trailer. I was like, okay, is this supposed to be like an RPG, or is this supposed to be like a Mordhau kind of thing, or
It's yeah, that's the point. It's a bit everything. It's a ARPG definitely for the fight, but there's still notion of strategy. Like I was mentioning, civilization because you have to
yeah,
extend your borders. So it's a bit of everything. I love the concept. The mix and match.
yeah? They
And
just
you're
didn't
talking
have
about the
any.
graphics.
Yeah,
Yeah, you are talking about the graphics. That's good for me because I have a 1660S, which is not the most powerful card around. So as long as it runs on it, I'm happy. Because all the new games which gonna need a 30 say 3060 or something like this, like an RTX card to run, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna run on low and it doesn't work.
yeah. I
And
think
with this, I'm happy.
I think being an older gamer in some ways kind of makes that easier because we came from a generation where when Final Fantasy VII came out, everyone was like, "Oh my god, these graphics are amazing!" Right? And then same thing with Morrowind. When Morrowind came out, it's like, "Oh my god, it looks so real." And like you look at it now, and Morrowind's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like
Look at these
Oblivion.
pixels.
Yeah. Oblivion doesn't look that bad, but Morrowind, is really dated. But
That's
I
all.
think for us having that being kind of our base,
Benchmark.
yeah, and then everything, yeah. So anything above that looks really good. So this still looks really good. I mean, for younger gamers, maybe where, Skyrim is the lowest level. They're like, this is basic, you know, like so to them this looks basic, but to us this looks like pretty good. So
Do you remember Wipeout?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The really fast kind of
Was it
racing
on
game.
PlayStation 1, I think, or something? When I saw Wipeout when I was a kid, like, oh my god, that's the most beautiful thing ever.
I know,
I had a
yeah.
little tear. I was like, oh my god, so beautiful.
Yeah, so graphically I'm not too worried about this. I can definitely get myself past that. But yeah, I was just looking at it because I was like, they didn't have any dialogue or anything like that. So I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be a story driven or if it was more like a more open ended adventure style
There
game
are
or
stories, but again, I haven't played this, so I need to check. There is campaign and there are stories, but it's kind of you move from village to village, taverns to taverns, and you talk to people.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly how it interacts there, but that's how you recruit your lieutenants. That's how you get the quests. You have to walk on the map with your horse to go to some villages to get a quest, and unfortunately, I don't have much to say on it because I don't really know how it works. Just know that's where you gather stuff. So I don't know if the lore is very important yet or if it has been puffed out because I know that a lot of people like simply the sandbox mode. You know,
Mm.
no campaign, just start, recruit, kill bandits, work your way up, lead, become the king, lead your nation, and crush the empire.
Yeah, the only other question I have is this single player only or is this multiplayer? Because some of the big battles sometimes you'll see like little highlights over some of the heads. So I'm like, is that a team or is that are those your units or
Exactly, that's your units.
okay?
Because
So
at first, you only have two or three against two or three bandits, so it's better to know which one are yours because they all look like crap. You know, like
right,
the guys you're recruiting off the street, and they are all have just a gray shirt, and you don't know. So none of that's multiplayer. I don't know, and I actually don't think so. I
okay,
think it's one player only,
okay. Because yeah,
but
looking at
that
some of
could be fun
these,
if you.
yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
It was just
multiplayer could be fun.
yeah, I was just looking at some of these battles, and it looks kind of like it reminded me a lot of Mordhau, and how that was basically like supposed to be kind of a bigger version of For Honor in a way. And so
Mm.
I was like, oh,
I
okay, are
don't.
these supposed to be like big battles? Is this like another Mordhau kind of thing, or is this different? But if it's different, that's kind of interesting. That this is might be for like the kind of people that who had looked at Mordhau and they're like, that looks like a fun game, but PvP, I kind of suck.
Well, we'll see, but for now, the battle animations to me really look Skyrim like. You know, like you have
Yeah, it's just kind of
those
like a yeah, kind of these
200.
slow, kind of like yeah, really
Yeah, you know,
wide
one movement for the
swings
sword,
and
one movement for the. Yeah, exactly. So, not maybe the best. It's not a combat simulator, really.
okay,
Let's be clear on that. At least for now. At least
okay.
for now.
It does look like it would be a fun co-op kind of game though, if you could maybe get like one or two friends and go in together and just kind of like clear out castles. I
Yeah,
mean,
make your own squadron. Yeah.
yeah, that does look like it would be fun for co-op mode or for like some of these sieges and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I don't let's see. I don't think it's. But again, it's in beta, so who knows? And I know people have modded
It's not.
Skyrim for
Yeah.
that, so maybe
It's
they
in
can mod
early.
it in.
Yeah, it's in an early access,
Right.
not beta.
Oh, right, right. Early access. Yeah, because it's totally different,
So
right?
absolutely
It's
no.
a
That's why I
paid
wanted
beta.
semantics. Semantics.
Yeah,
What an early access? A paid beta. Yeah,
yeah. It's a
exactly.
beta you pay for basically.
You just
Um,
pay a discount for the official release.
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of with early access. I feel like it's a mixed bag. I feel like it works really well for multiplayer games. So for something like PUBG, it works fine. Or for Fortnite, it would work fine. But I feel like when it comes to like RPGs and stuff like that, I don't think I would want to do it just because, like for instance, Baldur's Gate 3 is an early access, but it's one of those things where it's like you can play through half the story and then you have to stop, and then when it finally does release, you can finish the story. And I feel like I would rather just wait and play the story one time through rather than play half of it and then wait 2 years and then finish it. You know, that's me
Yeah, but
personally.
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's absolutely understandable. But at the same time, I prefer that they are clean and upfront with this,
Oh yeah,
rather than having Final Fantasy 15 saying it's an official release. Now you have a beta, and then you release 2 years later the DLC, which should have been included, and you still make us pay the full price.
Yeah.
Watching at you, Square Enix. That good?
Yeah, the sandbox I can understand um being early access. I get that because that's all gameplay stuff. So I have no problem with gameplay early access. I just don't like story early access. I guess would be the way to say it.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, that's why it worked very well with Subnautica, because that's, sandbox kind of game.